Hey, I'm Steven Kochitsky, creator of Gilishi Archives. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to find vital records using the Genetica website. Now, if this video does prove helpful, you know what to do. So without wasting time, let's get started. Okay, so first you want to go to the address www.genetica.genealogy.pl as is written up here in the address bar, or click on the link that I left you in the details below this video. It'll be easier. Now, once you get to this page, the first thing you want to do is click on this little American-British flag to put the site in English. Now, Genetica is a database which holds indexed vital records for all of Poland and previous Polish territories, which span over Lithuania, Belarus, and Ukraine, as well as different Polish parishes in different countries, which you'll find in Pozostałe tereny. Now, as you could see here, we have a map of all Poland's provinces and Warsaw, the capital, and Lithuania, Belarus, and Ukraine, or at least parts of it. As well, we see those provinces here on the right-hand side in a list. And for each province, we have the number of parishes, registers, and entries indexed. Now, this map is interactive, which means that if we want to look at Lubelski, for example, we could either click here, Lubelski, or on the map itself, and it'll bring you to this page. Now here we see province. We click on that. At any moment we could change. Underneath, for this province, we have the parishes that it holds, and for each parish we see the years and if it's a birth, marriage, or death. U being birth, M being marriage, Z being death. Now, as we go through this list of parishes, we see that we have different religions, mainly Roman Catholic, but we have quite a few Greek Catholics, Orthodox, again Greek Catholic, Roman Catholic, Baptist, Greek Catholic, Jewish, which shows that the main religion here is Roman Catholic, but we might have chances of finding something that's Jewish, or Greco-Catholic, or a different religion. Now, to show you how this site works, let me go to Zamość, Jewish records, marriages 1932 to 36, as a parish, and the part where you're supposed to put the person's name that you're looking for, I'll leave that blank, as well as the year range. We'll go over those parts in a minute. Now, if I press search with only the parish, it'll give us everything that's indexed in that parish. So here you see the year, record, name, surname, the parents, and again for the bride-to-be. And then here brings us to the scan and the web page where the scan is found. So in this case, it's found on Szukaj w Archiwa. Now let me close this. Let me go to another one just to show another quick example. And also we have a bar here that shows us the time frame, which is pretty cool because if you have different time frames, well then they'll highlight in dark green. Now let's look at a different parish. And again, search without entering names. And here we have the year, record number, name, father's name, mother's surname, the parish, and the village within that parish, because each parish has several villages in it. And if we click on the scan, it brings us to the place where the scan is found, and in this case, this scan is on FamilySearch.org. So before using Genetica, be sure that you have an account on FamilySearch.org, because with them you need to have an account. Close this. Now, if you want to go back to the home page, here, this little map icon, click on that, and it brings you back to the home page. Now, to show you more details, let me go to Ukraine. Now, let's say, for example, I don't know which parish my ancestor's from, and I want to do a general search of this province, or in this case, Ukraine. Well, what I would do is I would leave parish marked as all locations, and I would enter the person's name. Now, for example, if his name is Kowalski, a very common Polish name, Let's say I don't know the end. I just know it's Kova and that's it. Well, I could put Kowa, leave a little asterisk. And when I do search, it will give me everyone who's got a family name that starts with Kowa and whatever ending is indexed. In this case, we have a lot of Kovals, but if we go later on, then we'll have Kowalski, Kowalik, and so on and so forth. So now let's say I do know the name and I'm gonna put Kowalski, but I don't know the first name. So I'm gonna do a search on that. And it'll give me all the names that are Kowalski or similar. And again, if I go later on, and you see Kovalevska, Koval, Kowalski. Let's go a little later. Kwiatowska, Koval, and all names that are Kowalski or similar. Now let's say I know that his first name is Jan. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do a search on Jan Kowalski. And again, it'll give me all the names that are similar to Kowalski and emphasize on Jans. Let's go a little later. Okay, so now let's say I want to find the ancestor Kowalski, but on the same record, I want there to be the name Bilinska. So in this or section, I'm going to put Bilinska. And it'll give me all the records that have something similar to Jan Kowalski and have something similar to Bilinska in the same record. So here you're going to have Kowalska, Bielecka. Here you're going to have Bielecka, Kowalska, and so on. Now let me get rid of this Jan. And let's say I want to do an exact search, not names that are, or family names that are similar, but I want exact. Now I would click up here and select exact search, do a search, and it shows me only one result that has somebody who's a Kowalski and Bilinska. Now if I want this person to be a spouse, well, I would click on relationship search. And this is what comes up. The same thing. Since the father is a Kowalski and the mother is a Bilinska. So the relationship search, this shows you that, we're going to look at it again in a bit, it doesn't give you a very big difference. If I take off exact search and do a search on that, between Kowalski and Bilinska, relationship search, we have 39 results. If I uncheck this, do a search, we have 39 results. So that just shows what I said. Now for the fun of it, let's take a look at one of these scans. Now you see in this case, the scan is found on the AGAD website. Now if you wanted to skip searches in parents column, you would select this and it brings you no results. If you wanted to search indexes that were uploaded in the last certain amount of days, click on this and you choose which amount of days. For example, if you indexed documents or records that were uploaded in the last 60 days, you choose that, search, and it shows you that there was only one that was uploaded within the last 60 days. Now, if you're searching a specific parish, for example, Adame here. And I'm going to get rid of Bilinska. And we do a search. We have 19 results. But if we want to search in or within a 15-kilometer radius of nearby parishes, we click on this option here. We do a search. And it gives us more results because now you're going into different parishes. And over here, we see the parishes that are included in the search and at what distance they are from our original parish. And finally, if you want to choose a certain year range, let's say you want to find something that was within the range of 1880 to 1890 somewhere, well then you would put that up here, 1880 and 1890, search, and it'll give you all the results that are within that time span. Now let's get out of this time range. I'll do again a search. And just to show you, in this list that I was just talking about, as you could see, it's interactive. So if we click on one of them, it'll give us all the results of that one specific parish. Okay, now I want to show you guys what these icons are for. Well, this first one for the homepage you already know. But before doing so, I want to show you guys one last little detail here. Now I'm going to put the parish Buchac. No name, enter. And I want to show you guys a situation where an error might come up. If I go to scan, everything's okay. Look here, these 4 sets of numbers on top. The third set is 628, and here, sig %20,628. This is good. Now let me close this. And let me go to another scan. And look what happens. Now if you notice up here, the third number set, the 936, here it's 20,628. So if you're looking for a record, and by chance it's in Buchac or maybe somewhere else it's been happening too, and you come on this 404 not found, just with the cursor of your mouse, highlight 628 and put this number in, this 3-digit number, 936, and press enter, and the record will come up. So just keep this in mind. Maybe by the time you'll view this video, this won't be an occurrence, but in the meanwhile, if this does happen, you'll know how to fix it. Now let me get out of here and let me go back to the home page. Now if I want to do a search for a surname, I'll click on this little magnifying glass and I'll put the family name, so Kowalski, and I'll do an exact search, and for the fun of it I'll put a certain year range, search, and that gives me all the Kowalskis. Exact search, not similar names, but exact Kowalskis found within this time span for each province or territory, area, if you want. And it shows me the number of records. So for Donośląski, we have 2 births, 1 death, and 3 marriages between 1880 and 1900. And those are also interactive, so we could click on the number 2 and that'll bring us to those 2 records. Now, if I go to the next icon, completed resources, it brings us to an interactive list of births, deaths, and marriages for each province. And we could click and it'll bring us to that parish. I'll go back. And since it's color coded, we see green is birth, death is violet or purple, and brown is marriage. So we could go through the list, and once we fall on a parish that we want to research, well, we know which one it is and the year range. So we know if it's a birth, death, or marriage, and the year range. And again, it's interactive, we could click on it. Now if we go to the next icon, it's the authors of indexing. And these are all the people that did indexing, to whom we owe a lot of thanks and gratitude. Next, we have indexing that are in process. Then we have how to index. And then we have how to support, which will bring us to the Genealodze web page and shows us different ways we could contribute financially. And that's Genetica. If you want to support them on Facebook, you could give them a like. I know they're definitely worth it. And please keep in mind that Genetica is ran by the webpage genealodze.pl, which is Polskie Towarzystwo Genealogiczne, or in English, the Polish Genealogical Society. Well, I hope this video was useful. Listen, Genetica is an amazing site, and we really owe thanks to each and every person who volunteered to index, because it is long and very time consuming. And thanks to them, we don't have to go through hundreds if not thousands of documents to find family. We just have to enter a name and press enter. So hats off and a big thanks to everyone who volunteered and contributed to this website. Now if you liked this video and it was useful, you guys know what to do. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.